Not all Epsom salts are created equal, just like all calcium supplements aren't created equal, just like all B12 supplements, just like all herbal supplements are not created equal. What are Epsom salts and where do they come from? So we recommend Epsom salts in our liver and gallbladder cleanse program. So did Hulda Clark, and so do many other practitioners. Epsom salts are basically a potent mineral compound, and it's comprised of magnesium and sulfate. It's been used for a long period of time for multiple different things. It's the reason why they call them Epsom salts is because it was first it wasn't developed, it was first found and discovered in the 1600s in Epsom, England. And the actual chemical formula is MgSO4, which is magnesium, Mg, and SO4, which is sulfate. And that means it's actually broken down into a magnesium molecule and a sulfate molecule. The sulfate molecule is actually sulfur and oxygen. Sulfur and oxygen so magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen are actually three components that most people are deficient in as well today. So one thing to keep in mind, though, when you're purchasing Epsom salts is that not all Epsom salts are created equal, just like all calcium supplements aren't created equal, just like all B12 supplements, just like all herbal supplements are not created equal. So when you're looking for Epsom salts, make sure that there's a difference between food grade and non-food grade. A lot of the non-food grade Epsom salts are used in agriculture. And the food grade, or the USP, US Pharmacopoeia, are going to be the really good, high quality Epsom salts that you can use. You know, you always want to find the highest quality stuff that you can. What I like to do, and what a lot of the traditional methods for Epsom salts is just to dissolve the salts in warm water. You know, hopefully you have a water purification system, like if you're taking a bath, like an Epsom salt bath. I mean, everybody's probably heard of Epsom salt baths. And it's just what happens is it's easily absorbed through your skin because the magnesium and the sulfur and the oxygen break off, and it immediately goes to work inside of our bodies. So the magnesium ions break apart, and then they start relieving stress, actually, because magnesium is a smooth muscle relaxer also, and it actually promotes the production of serotonin. And Epsom salt baths have been known to reduce the effects of adrenaline as well. So magnesium sulfate has several other positive benefits to it. It has been shown to aid in enzymatic functions, helps regulate fluid retention in cells, facilitates calcium, helps calm the nervous system. And there was a study in 2018, just recently, that you could have a magnesium deficiency, and you can go in and have your blood work done, and if your serum magnesium levels are normal, you can actually be deficient. So that means, like, when you go in for a blood test and they take your blood and they measure magnesium and it says normal, now they're finding that most people with normal on blood actually do have a magnesium deficiency, and that they need approximately 300 milligrams of magnesium extra per day in order to lower the risk for chronic disease, because magnesium deficiency is associated with a risk for chronic diseases. That's another reason why we developed Intracal years ago, is because we saw the deficiency in calcium and we saw the deficiency in magnesium with individuals. And then we looked at, well, you know, people are drinking tons of milk, which causes a calcium deficiency because the milk is pasteurized and homogenized. and full of chemicals, and that actually causes a calcium deficiency, where you would think the commercials out there are saying milk does the body good, but actually milk does the body bad. Unless you're consuming raw organic milk, goat milk, sheep milk, or raw organic, pure, clean cow milk. That's a completely different story. But we know that Epsom salts, because the magnesium breaks out, can actually give you magnesium, especially when it's applied to the skin. I've used and recommended magnesium or Epsom salt foot baths for people that have toe fungus. For people that have joint pain or gout, you can actually rub magnesium salts or Epsom salts. You can dissolve them in water, an 8-ounce glass of water, let's say. You can add 2 teaspoons or tablespoons of Epsom salts to that. I always like to use a little organic apple cider vinegar in there as well. Mix it up and then apply that liquid to joints that are painful or inflamed. And a lot of times that will reduce the inflammation of the tissue. Another remedy is if you ever get a splinter in your finger or in your foot or anywhere in your body, if you just melt some Epsom salts in some warm water and soak your finger in that for a few minutes, it reduces the inflammation and around the skin where the splinter is, and usually you can just pull the splinter out very easily. So those are some of the tips on Epsom salts. That's where it comes from. That's why Epsom salts are so effective, because really when it's broken down, you're just getting magnesium, sulfur, and oxygen. And there's plenty of research out there on Epsom salts online. If that's something that interests you, it's also another very effective, very inexpensive form of healing. All right, thank you. And if you have any additional comments or any questions on Epsom salts, please post them in the comments below.